It's going live. You're live.
You live now?
Yes, you see.
Okay.
You can see us? Tell me what y'all think. Which way?
More, angle more that way because you can see
This
the
way?
kitchen.
See the
Oh,
kitchen?
actually,
Yeah.
Look, yeah, that's good right there.
Maybe it has to like bring it in closer, maybe. Yeah, you can bring the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Tilt it a little towards your paw, so
More?
wait. That's that's
This slid behind.
cut. We on.
Oh yeah.
All right, Shalom Makim wa Akwafim. First and foremost, before we begin, we want to give all the praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash.
the ones unto our elder apostles of the great millstone, and we learn this truth from. And peace and salutation to you, the tabernacle of David, our fellow laborers scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And it being that, so much is going on in prophecy, we couldn't even come up with a title. So that's why we just gonna have an open forum. Whatever brothers got, anything brothers want to bring out, you can feel free to bring it out. But of course, the main thing that's in the news is the uproars of the people, the so-called Black Lives Matter protests all over the country, which we all know that, part of it is Jake is sick and tired of the BS, so they're out there, in rage. But part of it is also Esau's taking advantage of that rage. He's that organization has been infiltrated and is being used really against the Jakes, man. Don't think for a second just because this movement is getting such traction all around the world that you're making some kind of progress. No, it's the money that's backing this whole movement. It's coming straight from your enemy, man. If it was actually organic, Esau would have never allowed it to get that far. Okay? So, that goes into, Jake being, easily manipulated and led, because our people are desperate, But, hey, it's time for you to wake out of sleep, man. And understand, the times that we're coming into. Huh?
The second episode.
Yeah, you Jakes, man. You calling yourself black? That's that's even in that self. You saying that you're black, you're lost, man. Or you're African American. Or
Negro.
Being black is, Esau came up with that during the 1800s, man. Categorizing nations of people in the 5 color schemes, man. You call yourself African American. That's come from 2 different so-called white men, man, from different time periods, man. We're talking about nations here, man. We're talking about our forefathers, man. And you get that from the Holy Bible, man. All right, from the lineage, from the seed line, man. This ain't about color, man. All right, it's all about the seed. All right, the spirit that flows through that seed, man.
The second Ezra 9 at the top, it says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Read that again.
This I'm sorry, top. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Yeah, so, seeing what's going on in the world, a lot of people, they think that, this is something that's, this is groundbreaking to see all these, protesters and riots out here in America the way they are. A bunch of so-called blacks, You know, with Edomites standing side by side with him. You know, really, this is just something that the Lord spoke of way before our time, and it's now being fulfilled. Okay. Yep.
Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yep.
Hey, and really, what the 2/3 are doing, hey, because that's who out there doing those protests and those marches and riots and looting, is just recycled resistance, man. Everything that they're doing out there has already been done. You know what? Jake is still fighting for the same thing that they've been fighting for in the 60s and in the late to early 50s, the mid to early 50s. I mean, mid to late 50s, Salakia. It's the same stuff going on, man. And y'all believe that y'all getting further with y'all plans since that Esau has let you push a little harder. It's the same thing, man. It's still his system running, you know. And really, that shows you that the 2/3 really love Esau's system. Because if you weren't for it, you wouldn't be pushing to change laws against it, man. You would Jake could just be burning it down. But Jake wants change within the society, in Esau's society. Like we always bring up, and how that nigga T.I. said, oh, this is Wakanda. And that shows that Jake only wants a kingdom within Esau's kingdom.
Jake can't see
Exactly.
that, yeah.
Exactly, because they don't have that kingdom mindset, man. Hey, they've been stripped of that, man, being under captivity somewhere.
And their foundation is not the scriptures,
Exactly.
first and foremost, because they're looking to all these other false leaders, other books, looking to their enemy for direction, when they have never led you into on a righteous path. They never gave you a real righteous outlook on anything. They just tell you, they just dumb you down with their with their words and their false promises, and give you niggas some money, you back into the same position or even worse than you were before.
And they didn't even do that. They about to give y'all back the NBA. And Jake about to calm down.
Yeah. Hey, just like if they got another check, niggas will calm down.
I got
I got
something.
John 8:32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You know, the truth, according to the Bible, will make you free, man. Your mind will be free, man. Because we're looking for the kingdom of Yahushua, man, through Israel, man. That's what we're looking for. And Esau and the other nations gonna be in slavery, man. All right, we're not gonna spend their U.S. dollar, have their face on buying and selling goods. No, man. Their banks are not gonna be up running. You know, and the kingdom we're talking about through the Holy Bible, man. You know, you Jakes, you can't see past Esau's world, man. You know, but the truth through Yahushua made us free, man. All right.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is for you to know that you're an Israelite. Then it'll make everything that you see going on will make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That
And your history is in the Bible.
yeah. You know, once you come to the realization of who you are, then it will, all these other questions that Jake keeps asking, it would get answered. Okay? You know, why are we at the bottom? Why are we treated this way? Why are we the most oppressed? Why is this? Why is that? You know?
Is it ever going to change?
Is it right? You know? Well, won't you hearken unto the word of the Most High and find out, man?
Yeah, don't you niggas listen, man.
Damn.
Don't look at us as, we're just a mouthpiece of the Heavenly Father, man. You know, the Bible has the answers, man. We just come and teach you, man. All right? That's it.
All right. It's Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots.
If I could
Go ahead.
go back to what I read in Jeremiah 28, we're prophesying against Egypt or New Egypt or Egypt again, okay? We're prophesying against America, right? That's the code, those are the code names in the Bible. That's what we're here to do, break down the codes for you, those key words, the strongholds, but the key words that are written in the Bible, so you can better understand it, so you can see what it is saying in there. We're putting it in the proper terms, in today's terms, so you can understand the past, present, and future, that you are the Israelites, that you're in captivity because the Heavenly Father is punishing you when this man is sent over you for that purpose, and then to the future that he's going to take us out of this captivity after the 2/3 get death by pain. All right, so you got to really see the big picture on how the Heavenly Father is moving, and that all His prophecies are coming to pass. So we're prophesying against this place, but you people want to look to this place to hold on to. You want to find equality in this place.
Babylon's falling, and you niggas want to be that crutch to keep them up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start at the top again. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't look toward the Heavenly Father.
What chapter was that?
Isaiah 31:1.
Go to 30.
Yep.
Yep. At the top, right?
It's at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, because America is modern day Egypt, man. You know, Egypt means bondage pretty much. Man.
Isaiah 31:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Yeah. So basically, you're the only nation that have to take advice and counsel from the heathen, and then your covering is of a whole nother vibration. When your covering is supposed to be the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to you're consulting with other gods, other ideologies, all right, and you're trusting on your enemy,
Other philosophies.
and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When the Lord is like, so I'm just sitting up here in the heavens, y'all supposed to be my people, and y'all treat me like I don't exist.
The counsel of the Lord is right here, but they're seeking counsels from the heathens. They're seeking counsels, wicked left-hand counsels.
Yeah.
Our people are they're seeking every one but the Heavenly Father, but the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything that you keep seeking for is all it does is set you back.
Mm-hmm.
Jay got excited when Obama came on.
Right.
Like he's just the go-to guy to address everything for the so-called black community.
This man did nothing to put you in a worse position.
Have you accepted gay marriage and shit?
Gay marriage is the only thing his legacy will
Freaked
be
y'all
on
out.
for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Turned you into freaks, man.
Yep. Over his 8 years. In the space of 8 years, that's what he did.
But you'll take counsel from him. But if the men of the Lord, who look like you, if they come out and tell you what the counsel of the Heavenly Father is, just disregard that. Because we don't have PhDs, we didn't go to Harvard University, we don't have suit and ties.
We don't speak with enticing words.
Yeah.
We don't have all kinds of gimmicks and things like that.
We might stutter a little bit in our speech, and just because of that, we're this word is not to be valued. See, this is the reason why the Lord said, "Woe unto you, man," because the Lord giving you the counsel right here. This is why you're catching hell. The scriptures tell you why you're catching hell. All right. Every week.
we go over the same stuff every week.
Every week, man.
You niggas do the same shit. You people are insane. Right? You people are insane. You do the same thing expected. What's different than this than the 60s LA riots than the 92 LA riots?
You got the Watts riots,
Yeah.
the Detroit race riots,
Yeah.
and the riots in 92,
Yeah.
amongst other civil unrest
Yeah.
and protests or whatever.
What's different?
They had a
between
damn. What was the point of Million Man March?
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the point of all of that?
And then the other one that happened a couple years ago.
Yeah, with,
Yeah, God, he said
Black Man March. Black Man March.
Yeah, what did he say? Something or else.
Yeah. It's justice or else.
Yeah, my Farrakhan.
Yeah.
He said justice or else. Is what it was. You people don't understand. Now I don't want to change the spirit of it, but let me read this instead. It's Isaiah chapter, then you go back, bro. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 13, it says, "For the people turneth not unto him that smiteth them, neither do they seek the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Therefore, the Lord Yahweh will cut off from Israel head and tail." That's why we don't have any leadership, right? It says, "Branch and rush in one day. The ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail." That's the truth of it. It says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err." And every time who shows up? Al Sharpton. What's the new guy you
Crump.
love? The Crump, right?
Yeah.
This guy, who else we supposed to have as a leader?
He's a
T.I.
lawyer.
is now a new leader.
Yeah, Mike, bro.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike.
These are new leaders. Drugs, rapping ass rappers, man.
This nigga,
Degenerate ass things.
yeah, niggas that came from drug dealer niggas is your leaders now, huh?
Yeah. You know, it says at the top of 16, it says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed." Because the real leaders are supposed to be the prophets and the king. We don't have a king right now. What we do, which is Yahweh Shai in this book. We don't have a physical king standing over us, but we speak in the stead of the king, man. We speak in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, okay? Through his word, through the proper spirit. But you people aren't led by that. Y'all rather listen to somebody on TV. Lead you right into further captivity.
It's like,
I had a quick one.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
Good?
I got one real quick. This is John chapter 5, and verse, I'm starting at 44. It says, "How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that cometh from the Most High only? Do not think that I will select you." That's not it. Verse 43 says, "I am come in the Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive." You know, that's these these fake leaders.
In that way, see?
Grandmaster Jake.
Yep.
You know, he coming in his own name, and he's, you know,
I'm the leader.
he could talk a good, one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Operation Black Messiah.
where's he been?
Yeah.
Ever
On
since
YouTube.
I haven't seen
At
it.
home.
At home.
And those videos that he's been coming, you know, made him famous. Gave him his recent fame. He took down.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like,
Hey, who got to him?
Yeah.
Somebody got to him. He saw it.
Yeah. I mean, but he's working for the op.
Yeah.
But he can disguise himself and blend in with y'all, you know, because he can just tell y'all something that sounds real juicy, you know. He can you know, play with his little assault rifles on camera and look authentic and play the part, you know, with his shades on, blocking his eyes, you know, and that looks appealing to Jake. Jake will buy into that image. G. So you'll receive a guy like that before you receive a man of the Lord, man. You know, and that's to your own destruction, man. This fool put up a video of he's supposed to be training some women with guns, right? But they're not in the gun range. They're in the food house. They're in the living room. Like he's telling them how to like hold it and shit. Why are you doing that in your living room? Dude, come on, man. He's playing. This dude is playing. He's playing that game, man. And Jake is too simple to catch on. That dude, he's set up, man. Okay.
if you're doing something like that, why would you put it on public display?
And why is it able to be kept on YouTube?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You see, these are the different snares and traps that Esau is laying for our people, man.
Yeah.
It's still going back to that crafty counsel, you know. They go about setting snares, you know, privately against us. Because they know that you jakes are, you're not going to catch it, man.
Yeah,
You fall for anything.
You leave from Isaiah 30, didn't you?
No, I still got it.
Yeah, you gotta be free in your whole shot to know, to see this devil coming.
Yeah.
You know?
Scripture said never trust thine enemy. You know, and then right now, we was laughing about it earlier, right now, a lot of these Edomites out there being real, they singing a new tune right now. They real nice. Hey, come on in, brother. Hey, have a... My brother, they're like, no, I mean, a friend. Come on in, you can go ahead and be in line. They're being super nice right now. You know? And they're going to continue to do that until they lull you jakes back to sleep.
Yeah.
But you ain't really fully woke up anyway. You're just mad. A little bit mad. This ain't even nothing. You know?
That was all I had.
You have something?
Yeah. Back in Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children,
No.
saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
And
And
a
they
whole nother spirit, man. That
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter spirit.
Yep.
That's
Man.
a whole nother spirit, man. That's foreign to the Most High. You know, while y'all thinking that you're making progress, the Lord is looking at y'all just disgusted, man. I didn't make y'all black. What the hell is a black? What is black life? You know, what is a black life?
They think they're taking going steps forward, they're taking 5 steps back.
Yeah.
You know, all this uprisings for what? To continue to call yourself black?
Yeah.
It's like when you hear that term on the news or whatever, black lives, it's like to a brother in the truth that's man, you hate that.
James Brown, Lord, your parents and grandparents to sleep, and they just continue to pass it on down. Now you're proud to be black. When you look up that definition of black, man, I'm sure a lot of you so-called conscious people look that word up versus the word white, but you still enjoy calling yourself black after you know the real definition of that word.
After the history's been told to you,
Yeah.
you know, Esau set that whole shit up, man.
He can't call himself white if he don't call you black.
Yep. And there was like a clip posted on Instagram where you had some Benjamite woman. She was speaking out when she had like I don't know what event it was taking place at, but she stepped to the podium when she was speaking. She was letting it be known like there is no such thing as black people. I'm not black. She happened to have like a black shirt. And she was like, my shirt is black. I'm not this color. You either two shades. You're either brown or you're red. And she called out Esau like those are red people. We're brown. This piece of paper, this is white. Nobody's this color. You know. She was breaking it down. I was like, shh. But niggas can't get that through their head. You know.
Niggas don't want to get it.
You know what? You ask a kindergarten child, you know, just getting in, you know, colors and, you know, crayons and, you know, coloring books, they'll tell you you're brown, you're not black. But,
Yeah.
but once you start getting Esau's, start teaching you his way, that's when you come just totally drenched in lies, man.
And the messed up part is
That's part of Esau's witchcraft, that deception.
Education.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-called education.
when you're constantly repetitively, you know, putting something in a person's mind, when you constantly say something over and over, it's like an enchantment because it becomes ingrained into it.
It comes second nature.
Becomes second nature. So we're so used to calling each other black because it's been repetitively pushed on us for so long. You know, Jake can't come out of it. You know,
Like living in LA, like growing up, they used to have a lot of commercials on the radio, like black. They would always say black and brown need to come together. All that.
Yeah.
And I was talking about
which one is which?
which one is which, because I know that I thought they were talking about me because I'm, you know, but it's just that whole like you said, you know, that repetitive enchantment they put out there, and Jake just falls right into the blind cigarette time.
what's that the scripture in Isaiah 29 where it says they're drunk but not with
Around 10 and 12,
yeah.
yeah.
9.
How I read it. This is Isaiah 29 and 9. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out, and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger.
They're drunken with philosophy. This man has passed down his philosophy to you, and he got you drunk and you're staggering. You know, if you drink too much alcohol, right? What happens? You black out. No pun intended, but you
Become
black
like,
out.
what's it called? Discombobulated?
Discombobulated and all of that. And that's where you people are. That's the staggering part. You're staggering because you don't know which way is up. You don't know which way is right. So you just take whatever you tell you.
Was that in the curse, Deuteronomy 28, where it says, I think like 29, they broke
At noonday.
noonday as in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like, when you think about
Stay
it,
there, I get it.
it's almost like when you're in a dark place and you trying to look for light, all you're doing is you don't know where to.
The light switch,
Just reaching out.
furniture.
You're reaching out for anything to make sure something supports you.
So you don't run into something or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, right. And when you're drunk, you don't know where to. You're looking for a wall
it's
to
even
fall
worse.
on, because you know you're gonna stumble and fall.
Yeah.
You know, if you're walking on your feet.
If you drunk, like you said, if you drunk, it's like
Okay.
you already because the truth is a light. But if you're in darkness, you can still somehow get to that light. But if you drunken with that wine, that philosophy, and you in the dark, you through.
Yeah, you through. You ever tried to sneak in after drinking to your parents' house?
In the dark.
In the dark?
Can't even find a light
And
switch.
you know what Jake ended up doing? Sleeping on the couch or falling asleep on the floor.
I know people that went to sleep on the porch. Try to beat them in the house.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hopefully I'll sober up before I get in the house. But what ends up happening, right? Your father come out and he whoop your ass. Because you probably broke something, you drunk, and you shouldn't be doing it. Okay? We're using an analogy, but this is really a spiritual analogy.
Like you said, that ass whooping is coming for you, Jake,
Oh, yeah.
from the Most High.
It's coming down now. It's just the beginning of the ass whooping. You know.
We're gonna finish this in Isaiah 29.
You want to do
That's all, I
right?
just wanted
Okay,
that
okay,
verse.
okay.
If you want to, you can read the next one.
All right. But not with wine they stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, have he covered.
Yeah. So that's the reason why all your leaders, you know, they're leading you astray. You know, you no matter what direction you go, you know, there's nobody with a proper solution, man. You know, they can only tell you what, I mean, where they're gonna lead you to, because they don't even know. You know, they don't know a damn thing, man. And really, they all been compromised. You know, Esau controls them one way or another.
What did Martin on Life, when they were wandering out in the forest, and he said, what was Cookie smoking when he was doing his map?
Yeah.
Cookie didn't drink no map. He didn't draw no his map. I drew. So you don't know where we are? I knew you wouldn't go unless I had a map. And that's what these leaders do. They'll just make shit up and wing it and hope for the best, man. And that ain't hope for the best. It's messed up because their oppressor, the real enemy of you people, gave them the game plan, gave them the map on what you should be doing. And you follow it wholeheartedly. They teach it with passion. You know, because they got that type of personality. And then you eat it up and follow it right into the ditch.
Yeah.
But when the real men that do have the guidance, that do have a real spiritual map out there, that do have the way, right? What do? You ignore them, you fan the hand, you get a job, bums, and whatever else you say about the men of the Lord. You're terrorists. Like, when they start really calling the men of the Lord terrorists, a lot of you jakes gonna go right along with it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of jakes out there that won't come into the truth, or won't come out to the camps because of that reason right there. You know, that they'll know the men of the Lord out there. We've been out there, but nah, man, I can't go out there, man. You know, them dudes was on CNN. You know, they don't want. I don't want them to associate with me with them. You already associated when you click on the video.
Yeah.
Man, you call yourself black. The FBI on your ass already.
Yeah.
You're part of that report.
It's like you put B at BLM or Black Lives Matter on any of your social media, you through.
Yeah. Black
Hashtag, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Job chapter 10, verse 21. Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. A land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness.
Yes.
The light is as darkness.
You should
Yeah.
go back to Isaiah 29 and jump down to 16. I think
16,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the Lord shows you the truth, and it's still darkened into you. You know,
Oh,
still you still don't know what direction it goes, and you just pass it up.
Yeah.
You know, and all you're gonna do is just gonna be like a freaking a lobster trying to chase his tail. You know, like you just keep repeating the cycle,
Same cycle.
same cycle.
Every generation, you know, has come up with that same cycle. You know, you had the generation where Jakes that were doing Reconstruction that was getting beat up, and you know they still trying to make it here in America. Then you got the generation where they trying to uprise against get civil rights, and that generation is just being recycled. You know, where you got the new Black Panthers now. Yeah, I seen a video of some nigga woman with a gun and some nigga marching. I think it was in Atlanta. Remember that? It's just recycled, but it hasn't profited you Jakes nothing. And Esau is even coming down harder on than they have been. Because you look at the police brutality, it's ever since Rodney King it's got worse.
yeah. It works.
And they even on the news they showed the 75-year-old woman that was out there marching, and she was 75 talking about I went through this back then basically.
Yeah.
Well, duh, ain't nothing changed, and we're still doing the same thing. Doing the same thing.
92 for almost 30 years.
28.
Right? So that's 92. She was old enough to be back in the 60s.
Yeah.
So she did both of them.
And if you do, it seemed like they was marching every week and doing civil rights, marching and boycotting.
They was walking somewhere.
That shit didn't
It
work.
looked like they walked all the way from Montgomery, Alabama to Washington, D.C. or somewhere. They just always was walking.
Yeah.
Got nothing done.
No.
They plant got to speak.
And it's-
Talking about
and
MLK.
It's
Yeah.
funny because it seemed like Esau directed them where to march too,
Right,
during
right.
those marches.
Huh?
Like, no, you can't go down this street. Keep going down there. It's like a scripture say, led to the slaughter.
Yeah, my people
Yeah.
are going
Flock to the slaughter.
Who was yeah, but
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 28. And it reads, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt...
because it tells you, like when we read Jeremiah, where it talks about Babylon being that golden cup that make the nations to drunken, and it says therefore the nations are mad. You get intoxicated with too much wine, you're gonna become mad. So Jake is mad because
Is a rager.
right. So Jake is just mad off of philosophy, man.
Yeah.
Black culture. You know, you got Jake that's so bugged out. They get into Islam, Kemet. They'll be an Israelite for a little bit. Then they'll be a Christian. They get into everything, man, and they bug the hell out. You know, now you got the star of Molech. Then you got the Ankh. You know, then you got this symbol and that symbol. Then you got the crucifix. You just all screwed up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We a little Bible scripture. But they call it still a 5% Muslim or something.
Right.
You black conscious Pan-African. It's a whole bunch of. What the scripture said in Matthew 7th chapter. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, the difficult way. For wide is the gate, broad is the way that leads to destruction. There's plenty of avenues that'll lead you to the wrong way in the world. But this one is the difficult way, and this is the right way. Well, that's how you know that this is the right way, because it's the most difficult. 'Cause you're gonna have to give up and sacrifice everything in this life,
Yeah.
you know, to gain benefit in the next one.
Yeah, to come to the Lord, you gotta, like it tells us in Sirach 2, prepare yourself for temptation. It's gonna be uncomfortable. But hey, through that uncomfort, you actually are being comforted. Because the Lord, He always gives us, you know, the courage, you know, to be able to, you know, endure through these different trials that He puts before us.
We have the
Because
light
we have
at
a
the end of the tunnel.
Come.
It's like everything.
Yeah, and we got the light at the tunnel, man. Because what we're pushing for is deliverance. The Lord promised us eternal life. Jay ain't seeing it from that perspective. They're looking at the now, the tangibles.
They living in that yellow spirit.
Yeah. You know? So that's why they look forward to this system continuing. They don't see a system existing beyond the so-called white supremacist system.
Right.
Jake thinks that, you know, I'm doing this, I'm trying to set things up for my kids and for future generations. We doing the same thing,
Yeah.
but
right.
in a righteous way where ours is guaranteed if we continue on that path.
Exactly.
I want to make a quick point. I watched a video about some invested in wealth and opening your own business, some entrepreneur video I watched the other day. And what the guy in the video was saying, you wanna, most people work, you know, they trade their time for money. So you'll work, and then when you die, the job's over. But when you own your own business, you can pass that down lineage to lineage, right? Or sell your business and get profit off of it. The difference is what you're doing is just for the moment. What we're doing is eternal, and it's where we're not just part of the system. We run the system under the Heavenly Father in righteousness, equality,
Exactly.
justice, judgment, and so on and so forth for
Exactly.
all the righteous things.
Exactly.
That's the difference. You guys still want to be having beef with Edomites, man. We're going to rule over all the nations, not just Esau. We're going to rule over all the nations. That's the difference. When we make the laws, we make the rules under our Heavenly Father and our Lord.
I got to preach this real quick to
You
you.
got it.
This is Hebrews 6 and 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love which ye have shown towards His name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister.
Yeah. So what we ministering to you? Hey, you can stay in this life that you got now. It ain't gonna last long though. Or you can start building toward a righteous future where you're at the top of the totem pole.
Right.
Somebody get
Because Black Lives Matter,
Matthew 19.
that stops right here in Babylon.
Right.
That legacy is gonna be left for in the missile fire.
You're gonna remember it with the smoke. That's how you die. The smoke is gonna be going up, and you're gonna be like, damn, my last life I died in that smoke. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna be everlasting glory, man. Is somebody grab that for me, brother? Matthew 19, 29, 20.
Can I get this
Yeah,
real
you
quick?
got it, you got it.
It's 2 Corinthians 4 and 17 and 18. It says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
Yes.
While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen.
Yeah, because right now, Jake can't see our people ruling the world. Not just having our own Wakanda in Atlanta and Georgia, but having a real kingdom of priests. You know, having a real rulership. Having our enemies under our necks, under our feet, man.
Controlling industries, controlling resources like Esau do.
Yep.
You know,
Taxing these heathen,
right?
and punishing them for breaking the laws. Whose law? The righteous laws of the Heavenly Father.
It says, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
That's right. The things that you can't even. What did it say in Second Corinthians 7th chapter? How could you enjoy the things to come, the goodly things to come, if you did not go through the bad to get there? Because this is a tough path. But you thinking we're gonna get through this, Esau gonna, this man gonna listen, and he gonna give us equality. We don't want equality. We don't want equality. We want to rule. But we can't kill our enemies to rule. We have to let the vengeance be upon our Lord. You got something else like that?
You know,
You was referring back to that? Did somebody get that in Matthew 19?
Matthew 19 and 27.
Yeah.
Then answered Peter and said unto him, talking to Yahushua,
Yep.
Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, but
Yahweh,
what's the benefit of all of this? Now, think about it. Is this the type of level of benefit that you're gonna get? Keep continuing living in this world? Go ahead,
and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones.
Whoa,
judging."
sit upon 12 thrones. There's no throne in this life coming for you. The throne, the death row throne?
And you damn sure ain't judge nobody.
you would be Newton throne.
Yeah, in a wicker ass chair. You know, what kind of throne? The toilet? What kind of throne do you really have in this life? The throne we're talking about is gold and glorious, man.
Gold and scepter.
Yep, we got scepters and we really command and rule things. Read that half that part again.
See, on this side, you got a freaking loop,
To get.
you know? Just the fact that you still have to do that and you are royal people to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to loot and steal.
Hey, what it say?
We at the lowest we've ever been in the history of our
Of life.
of life period. Man.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you know shit is just all bad, man. That should want a whole nother situation here, man. This ain't it, man. This clearly ain't it. You know?
Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you don't want to sit on 12 thrones?
Well, the 12 is gonna sit on those thrones.
Right.
The rest of Jake, you know, because it's gonna be a rank and order in the kingdom. But either way, Jake is still gonna be special in the kingdom. Man. You're gonna have rank. You're gonna be over all the other nations. You ain't gonna be equal with them. You ain't gonna be,
right.
you know,
Asking for rights or none of that stuff.
no. They gonna have to they have to go to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you're the tail and they're the head. But once the Lord take those curses off,
If you read to the
we're
end of
gonna
that chapter,
be the head.
if you read to the end of that chapter, it's gonna say all of that.
Yep.
You know, they're gonna have to come to you for the one of all things.
What do they say? The Gentiles should bring in their forces into our gates. You know what the forces is? All their commodities, riches, all their wealth. They're gonna come and hand it over to you. Here you go, Lord. If you look at me in my eye, you know what I mean? We're gonna be like hard on them.
Yeah.
We're gonna rule them with an iron scepter, man. We're gonna beat the shit off them people into submission, into righteousness. Okay? It's not like we just gonna beat people up to randomly causing violence. No, it's gonna be for a reason, a righteous reason, under the rule of the Heavenly Father. Could you read that? Just read through to the end.
29. Everyone that hath forsaken
This is what makes the gate This is what makes the gate straight, difficult. Right?
and everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or land for my name's sake.
Hey, you gotta give up everything. You gotta give up everything. You know, in the other book it says in his own life, in your own life also. Like your life in this, you gotta get that up as well. Because this ain't living. The living comes once you start. Your mind is what I'm looking for. Is into this. For lack of a better term, fully persuaded. Your mind is fully persuaded in these things. That's when you begin to live. Okay, when the Heavenly Father gives you access to His Spirit and His wisdom. Right?
Yeah, like Yahushua said, the words that I speak unto you,
They are.
their spirit and their life.
That's right.
You know, as long as you're following, you know, the way of the world, you don't have any breath in you. You're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have no spirit in you, man. And that's the reason why you're gonna keep getting dead results.
Right.
It's just the same cycle like we've been saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gonna keep dying.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you're dying for what you believe in, but look what you're dying for.
But you don't believe in nothing.
What you're dying for is only leading to more death, more insanity. You're not dying for a everlasting cause.
You gotta see, through the Most High is gonna break that cycle because it's a wicked cycle that's been passed down from calling ourselves black to protesting. That's a cycle. The generation of during the 60s and 70s, their kids or their kids' kids are doing the same thing, and that cycle got to be broken. You know, if the cycle's not broken, what's gonna happen? If we ain't gonna be here no 20, 30 years, but the kids after these kids, they're gonna be doing the same thing. Yeah.
Because the same oppressor gonna continue doing the same thing because it's been working. It's worked this long. It worked during the Civil War. Yeah, okay, you think you got free. You didn't get free in 1865. It worked in 1963 or 4 or 5, whatever. It didn't work then. It didn't work in the 90s, and it ain't gonna work now. Okay? It ain't gonna work. All right? Finish that out. I got something right out.
It's every 29, and everyone that had forsaken houses or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
Inherit everlasting. There ain't no death in everlasting life. Best case scenario for you, staying in this life, you die at 80, 100, whatever. Best case scenario for us, we don't die.
Yeah.
We don't die.
Scripture says that there's some of you that shall not taste of death.
Not taste death, man. You people will scoff at us because that sounds too far-fetched for your simple, feeble minds to understand. But it's not for the Heavenly Father.
Yeah, they'll
Who has control over that?
fine, they'll say that if that's too far fetched. But when we say you niggas ain't never gonna have your place in America, that don't sound far fetched.
Right, right.
Let's show you how through Jake is, man. They can't see themselves in a better position than having a little city in America.
These Jakes, they're aiming their attention at the cops.
Yeah.
Who fucking owns the cops?
Thank you. Who pays the
elite
cops
bankers,
checks?
man?
Who
All right?
pays the cops checks?
The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Gettys, DuPonts, Oppenheimers.
Yeah.
You supposed to be aiming your attention towards them, but you niggas can't even find them.
You don't even know how. If you didn't just give them the list, they wouldn't know the list, bro.
They can't.
They would who they were.
Cause that's like what the woman on that video said too. She was like,
Yeah.
that's Jake's problem. They want equality here. Hey, we want recompense, man.
Yeah.
What she said, you
Lucky you ain't getting revenge.
Yeah.
You only asking for equality.
You're
Yeah.
lucky we only asking for equality, you know. But
We ain't asking for
you're
revenge.
lucky we ain't asking for.
No, we ain't going for revenge. We only want equality. Lucky we don't want revenge.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, something to that effect.
What's Jake name? The old BET? He trying to get 14 trillion.
Bob Johnson?
Yes.
He don't still own it, dude.
Nah, he got bought out by Esau.
He trying to go to Esau to get 14 trillion for reparations.
Esau,
That whole thing's coming back up again.
Yeah, in the felony kind of.
Esau barely gave you stimulus check.
I would laugh. This would be the funniest thing.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is give Jake reparations. And then crash the economy. Before Jake can spend it. Oh, that'd be the Esau. I would do that.
Man,
That's a good one. You wanna let Jake mine up, do that.
And then these dumb niggas be paying $100,000 for an iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Due to inflation.
Yeah.
iPads, $250,000 and shit.
And they don't buy it.
Condos, $3 million and shit. And living in the same ghetto neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you split that 14 trillion up for all the so-called American descendants of slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 350,000 a person.
And that's a house. It's a house. But guess what? You still got property
Property
tax.
tax,
You
yeah.
still got to pay your electricity.
Yeah,
You still got HOAs and shit, right? You people don't see a big picture. You gotta expand your mind wider. That's what this does. Hit that last verse.
Kind of 30. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Yeah. So many of you that are at higher ranking position, you're gonna go down to the bottom, and us on the bottom gonna be at the top. That's the difference. Okay? A lot of you, and that don't just mean Esau that's at the top. That go to Jake too. But a lot of you Jakes that have got rich in this life, guess where you're gonna be at in the kingdom of heaven?
Yep, his brother was talking about that. Like all these Jakes that's high in here, y'all gonna be in the kingdom, but you're not gonna be like the elect.
Right.
You're gonna be like, oh, regular Jake.
Yep. I got you. You gotta go and do that.
John 3:12. If I have told you of earthly things and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of heavenly things?
That's plain, man. Let me get this right.
We get into the so-called UFOs, the chariots. We ruling the
Ruling
next
ship.
world,
Yep.
interstellar space travel. You niggas can't even fathom that.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
niggas think it's science fiction.
Aliens.
Jake, even with a movie like and that's what I was thinking about this, like Hancock, that don't even make sense to you. Cause what happened in Hancock after they finally made him docile in Hancock? What did he do? He shaved his face.
Yeah.
He got all put their little tight ass suit on and shit, and went out there smiling, being a puppet. Even though he had all the power,
the spiritual power.
Motherfucker had all the power.
Still,
That's why I like in that new Superman movie. He's in there like cuss. He was like, "Hey, it makes them feel better." Right? He went to cuss. Then he was like, "All right, let's put all the cards on the table." Kink.
Yeah.
And push the thing open and said, "I can see through these walls."
Right.
Like, let's quit playing games here. I'm fucking Superman. Like you Jakes can't understand of being on that high level in righteousness. Okay, the problem starts with the strongholds. The strongholds started you believing that who you call God and Jesus Christ were white men because they looked like they were giving them all the power. But you don't realize if you got yourself together, truly got yourself together with this, you would be on such a high level that you wouldn't, man, you can't even fathom the blessings and the glory that the Heavenly Father is going to give us. And it's not about if. He's going to do it. Okay, this is just a matter of time before he does it. All right, but you have to play a role in this, depending on where your ranking gonna be at. I got something like that. I got something. This is Jeremiah, because we were talking about they can't see the way, because they're blinded, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein. But ye shall find rest, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." You Jake still don't want that way. Y'all don't want to be on that high level. You don't want to be in subject to the Most High God only, Yahweh, the ranking order that way, under them and not under your enemy.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't want to be on the head of all nations, part of the head of all nations, with all the other nations being up under you.
You can't. And that's why we brought out that scripture in Deuteronomy. Because the scripture tells you that the whole head is sick, man.
Right.
Our people are sick, man. They're really that's a disorder, man. Jake doesn't understand how great that they could be if they were in line with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Hey, look at the time when King David ruled, man. The nations were under subjection of Israel, man. And even when it was translated unto King Solomon, man. Same Israel, we was man. You seen the glow of Israel, man. We were glowing. But look at us now.
And I'm glad you said us, because those were our people. You know some of these stories, but those are people that look like you, people that look like us. Okay, you people always see these images because Esau played that philosophy mind game with you, keeping you drunk, showing all his images.
Yeah,
Iconoclasm, whitewashing shit, man. Okay, and they cover the faces of the judges thereof. I mean, you can't see yourself in that high position with that much righteous power.
And that's the thing, bro. Jake don't got that vision. They don't got that eyesight, man. Hey, that's why the scripture say, and elect shall receive it, and the rest were blinded, man. When you go to Romans 11.
Yeah, you niggas calling yourself black, you still gonna sell drugs, you still gonna be murdering each other, you still gonna be committing adultery, you still gonna be stealing, from each other, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you Jays don't have love between yourselves, man. You know?
Yeah, after this, then what for y'all, man? You say you got what you want on this side, then what? You continue, the food is still genetically modified, the air is still messed up, the minds of the people is messed up, you still got your oppressors ruling over you, you still have a broken household, we can go on and on. You're still living in the ghettos, you still have the curses upon you. Like what, man? So you hoping to live this fairy tale in Esau's society, man? Y'all are ridiculous.
Last verse. Verse 17 said, I set watchmen over you. Where are those watchmen? Because if you want to inquire how do I get this power, what I got to do, well, we're up here teaching you. We've been doing it from us all the way back to our elders, to the apostles elders, all the way back, man. So right around that time that y'all felt that y'all got equality in the 60s, was right around the time that this word came out. Okay, and it's been growing and growing and growing all the way up until today. But you people still doing what y'all did right before this came out. The way that didn't work. Okay?
I had something. This is John 3 and 19. And this is the condemnation that the light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light.
You people love darkness rather than light.
Hey, they love black. They love being black.
Because their deeds were evil.
Hey, when you go into that word black, as we say, man, it's a part of black. That definition means morally and spiritually impure, man, or wicked. Jake loves being wicked. Come on.
Yeah. The way the light.
Yeah, the way the light and judgment.
You know, to be ignorant.
Come on.
You know, obscurity.
All the negative terms you can think of associated with that color, with that word.
Because when you think about it, when you're spiritually blind and you can't see the error of your ways, it's almost like you're trapped in your own destruction. You know? If you actually see the light, then you'll see it. Oh shit! I've been living a life that's a lie. I've been, fucking up. I'm not supposed to be living like this. No wonder why shit is all jacked up.
You start seeing things like, oh, this makes more sense that I do something this way, or I don't do that anymore, and I do this instead. It becomes the path becomes clear of what you should be doing.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about it.
I looked up the word black in Webster's dictionary, right? Definition 2, be of or relating to African American people or their culture.
That's
now,
new.
When I read down, verse 4, dirty, soiled, all right, characterized by the absence of light, reflecting or transmitting little or no light. 6, old-fashioned plus literary, thoroughly sinister or evil, wicked, indicative of condemnation.
Evil, sinister, wicked. That's Esau's definition, man. He's a real black
That's
person.
Esau.
But they put that label on you.
And that vibration is actually on you.
Yeah.
What the definition that you just described, that fits Jake because they live black. They live that black life, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here it is, you yell at Black Lives Matter, but living black is, you fucking up your diet, committing adultery, slanging drugs,
doing drugs,
which is witchcraft.
Giving over to idols, and you said witchcraft.
Yeah, man.
Homosexuality,
Yeah.
incest.
That's another thing. A lot of y'all don't even realize that Black Lives Matter is just a LGBT black subdivision. That platform is really for the LGBT community, but they like to attach your plight, all right, so that they can use it to exploit, to push their cause and their agendas, man.
They try
Off
to
the backs of dead jakes.
put black on their flag, didn't they?
Yeah,
Brown and black.
Brown and black.
Yeah.
They're trying to associate your struggle, the curses that you have to endure with being discriminated against as a homo.
Like we're in the same struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, man,
Because you can stop being gay if you want to. We can't change the color of our skin. Well, but you can't change who you are in your spirit, man. You can't change that. You're not in control of that. Yeah.
Indicative condemnation or discredit connected with or invoking the supernatural or especially the devil. Very sad, gloomy, calamitous.
Hey, what in Django? In the movie Django,
What you say?
it was the word that they were using for Jake was devils. They kept using that word, oh, you poor little devils. Now, it was even the German guy, because that was just common speak, to call Jake little devils. Okay? You wouldn't call them children of light, children of God. Okay? Yeah.
Characterized by hostility or anger, discontent, distorted, or darkened by anger.
he's an angry black man.
Yeah.
That's what you have to say.
Angry black men. Yep. That's they act like they're afraid of that. They're not afraid of an angry black man. They know what to do with an angry black man.
Yeah,
Put a bullet in,
Because they made them.
put him in the grave. Yeah.
They made it takes a nigga to make a nigga, man.
Mm-hmm.
Esau being the first black person, man, he's groomed you to be wicked, man. That's why the scripture says what it says in John 8:44.
Yeah. Yeah, Esau really crafted. He crafted that nigga because he's the ultimate nigga.
Right.
All right.
He put all his characteristics. Hey, we talk about something. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
We talk about him being an identity thief. He put his identity on you and took your identity,
Yeah.
put it on himself.
That's
And
black.
really think that through. Okay, that means we're the real white people and they're the real black people by the definition of the word. But the 2/3 is part of the black people, though, for now, to the kingdom of heaven.
Let somebody have a sign like that at one of them protests. They'll jump that person.
Yep.
Yeah, whoop his ass.
These black ass people.
Oh, you're not about to say that this Edomite, they ain't even say Edomite. You ain't about to say that the white man is black.
If you had a sign saying
Check
the white man is the real black man, you know, if you said something like that, and you black people are the real white people, by definition, you
Yeah.
put all that on the sign, Jake will read that sign and be mad at you.
Yeah.
And be mad at you.
And the scriptures is total opposite. You white, that's associated with pureness,
You know?
you know, innocence,
You have more,
to be clean, morally, you know.
yeah.
But Esau got your ass calling yourself black. And, you know, when you read every time our people wore black or were describing themselves as black, it was always with negative connotation. It symbolizes mourning, you know, death.
Yeah, like it says in I think Lamentation,
That's what
they're black because of the famine.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
That starvation.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. And as long as you under this vibration of black, Esau can continuously accuse you to the Father day and night.
Yeah.
You know, he can constantly accuse you
He got shit on you. As long as you're black.
while perpetrating that he's pure and innocent, he's white. You know, and that's and you think about it, that's how the world sees things too. Like anytime Jake do anything, or let's say Jake is innocent, the world will still think he's guilty because he's so-called black.
That's used
Now,
for.
but every time a so-called white person does something and he's guilty of it, people are still prone to act like he's innocent.
Innocent and proven guilty, but when it's Jake,
Guilty
It's the
to
opposite.
they got the worst picture of Jake they can find on the news.
like this.
And another thing I want to mention is, what do you think the narratives that's going around the world right now with everything going on here in America? They're not showing Edomites looting and all that. What are they doing? They showing Jake out there acting a fool looting. They're not even showing a peaceful protest. They're just showing Jake. It's because the world has this perception of Jake. They've had this perception of Jake all along, and Esau is just doing nothing but furthering that narrative.
He created the
Yeah.
narrative. He created us by the struggles that we went through up under this devil, and then he pushed us into a situation. Think about it. If somebody said, "I know you ain't got shit, but I know you're hungry, but don't eat nothing in this restaurant. All this food on the table, don't touch it." Then they leave. What do you think you gonna do? If you starving, what do you think you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's only human nature and common sense, right? I want to use a quick analogy about the black and white, the perception of people. What are they doing to George Floyd right now? They making this nigga the worst man ever to walk the planet right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But-
they
but-
digging up all the dirt.
Yeah, they just finding out, well, what did he do? They just want to.
Yeah, he had
What could he
corona.
do? His hand, he was on drugs. He's been in porn. He had a criminal history. Domestic violence. Got a million things on him. Esau got the same shit. But what happened? But on the other side of that, right? Talking about innocent till proven guilty. They playing all in Amber Geiger's hair. This bitch is damn near innocent.
Yeah.
But they just can't find a way to get her off of this. You know, get her out of this. I was so tired. She had to admit that she did it because everybody knows she did it. So she's not like she could pin it on somebody else. But she was like, they treating her like she was innocent. Crying for her and shit. You couldn't together. Black people looking.
Dyed her hair.
Yeah.
You know, dyed her hair blonde. So,
Bro.
you know, and that plays on you dumbass niggas' emotions. You dumbass Jakes. You like the nigga brother that gave her a
Yeah.
hug.
Yeah.
Could I hug the victim?
Yeah, come on.
Pat this dude on the back and said that shit.
Got the Mammy Tammy Judge.
Yeah.
Give her a Bible.
Yeah.
That was
What
disgusting.
was the lady name? The bailiff, not her name. The bailiff up there
Yeah.
playing, make sure you
Playing
look
her
good
hair.
before the judge.
Bro,
I had to.
there's been thousands of Jakes that's been persecuted in that same jail
That's-
or that same spot, bro.
And some of them probably innocent. It's a lot of
Yeah.
Jakes that's in prison that
Bullshit, bro.
for bullshit. They got 3 strikes.
Yeah.
That's doing 25 with an
Life?
that's innocent because basically because they black. Let me finish this verse real quick. This is John 3:21. 20. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
And Jake don't like being corrected.
Not at all.
A lot of people do not like being corrected. You tell somebody, man, you wrong, nigga. Jake don't want to hear it. Jake want to get violent. Like violence is the answer.
And Jake come up with a wicked ass excuse. Hey bro, you know, you shouldn't eat that pork. You know, that pork not good for you. You know, you can go into all the history of
science of it,
the science of it. You can go into the scriptures. Man, yeah, man, that's cool and everything, bro. I like bacon.
I like ham sandwiches.
I like ribs. You know?
My grandma been eating bacon
Man,
for 80 years.
that's the word.
She's
That's
still alive. Alright, nigga. Your grandma also about to get her leg chopped off.
yeah.
Your grandma also got high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Your grandma also losing her hair.
Look at Big Mama.
Yeah.
This is
They didn't cut every Big Mama off, and they
Yeah.
still what they do.
They still cook the same
Same
shit.
shit that killed Big Mama.
hey, that's being black.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that culture for you.
That's black. You know.
Hey, this Esau has taught you black culture.
Yeah. Hey, because wait, black culture is just the leftovers of white supremacy.
Yep.
You know?
What's in the black culture bag?
Slave
Chitlins,
food.
chitlins is the worst because it's literally shit.
Yeah.
You're literally eating shit. That's how this man feels about you. And now you feed yourself shit. Think about that mentality. You got something?
This is Jeremiah 5:28, and it reads there, waxing fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they picked up where Esau taught them. They thought they found ways to upgrade and then reinvent the slave ways that they taught you.
Why tremors thou way to seek love? Therefore, we have taught the wicked ones thy ways. Yes.
Yeah, this example just came to my head. Like, you go to a Jake neighborhood, it's all fucked up, plastic everywhere, liquor bottles, drugs and shit. You know, drug bottles on the ground. You go to Esau's neighborhood, it's clean. You know? You niggas, yeah, you call yourself black. You black means he's filthy
Yeah.
as well, man. You know? This is just an analogy.
Since they're waxing fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, in the right of the needy do they not judge. Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?
Yet should his soul not be avenged on a people such as this? And a lot of you gonna learn this after death by pain, after it's too late.
Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
God. And that's going for most importantly the elect, man. Because the scriptures speak on Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, where it goes into the dry bones, the bones came together, flesh came upon them, sinews came upon them. Hey, but all the breath wasn't blown upon all the bones, all the bodies. The breath was only given into the men of Yahweh Bashim Shai, which is the wisdom of the Most High.
Verse 31. And shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, all right,
The old path.
which sinned before the Lord.
Be kind.
And I will bring them again into the land which I had promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. I ain't see no word African American. I ain't see black. As being a race. I see my forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
And Jacob's name was, after he got the blessing from wrestling the angel, was changed to Israel. And that's the blessing name that our people have on us. The name of that blessing that he demanded, but it was prophesied for that to happen also.
That was it. I was looking for something.
Well, can I get this back quick? Backing you up when you said he would give them eyes to see and ears to hear, right? Isaiah 6 and 9. It says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. See ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart is your mind, and convert and be healed. So when you truly awake to the light, to the righteousness of Yahweh Bashim Shai, to the message that the prophets, the real prophets, are pushing to you, that's when he'll accept you. You'll be able to see the big picture. Okay, when you'll be converted and be healed away from all the atrocities and perils that have been before us and that destroyed us as a people. That was it.
I got a quick script. This is Jude 1 and 13. It says, raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. When you look up that word darkness in the Greek, the word is skotos. It's like your skatas. And down here it says
Scott. The word Scott means black.
Yep. Skatas. It says darkness of night, darkness of darkened eyesight or blindness, metaphorically of ignorance respecting divine things and human duties, and the accompanying ungodliness and immorality, together with their consequent misery and hell.
Right. That's right.
That's darkness, man.
Yeah.
Death.
That actually breaks down the state of our people. The 2/3 of our people, that just describes you. All you people call yourself black, that just describes you.
It's like the blackness of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your blackness, man. These last few centuries, this is the blackness you had to live in, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're ignorant of you know your heritage. You're ignorant of how you must conduct yourself, how you must behave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all these different morals that the Lord gave to us. These are the things that were supposed to govern us as a people. And because we lost that, we became destroyed. You know, we deteriorated as a people. And you see it just based off of so-called black culture. And just think about it. Any parts of our culture that other nations try to emulate, it always results in them doing some crazy shit. You know, like they get heavy into the rap hip hop world, right? But think about it. The only white musicians that get into beef, get into street beef, are white rappers.
Yep.
But what do you hear about white heavy metal or punk rockers or country singers, blues singers? You don't hear about them getting into shit.
You don't only hear about it. Cool.
Yeah.
You know? But a white boy, you know what I'm saying, he imitates the rap culture, hip hop culture. He got tattoos on his face. You know, he's talking all degenerate shit on the track.
The best thing, I don't want to cut you.
He's, it's like the wrong image. The shit that we shouldn't be associated with, the image that we shouldn't be seen as, they emulate that, and that's a reflection of the culture that you was given, man.
So could I jump in? The best thing that ever happened to these Connecting Get Live. Yeah. Salakia. It was good. Were we seeing that?
Yeah.
The vision? Okay. Start at the top of that.
Deuteronomy 28:29, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Man,
But they think Black Lives Matter is going to give them progress.
and when the Rock that said that, the Rock was like, where's our leader at? I don't know if that was a joke or not, but it ain't funny to me because you so-called black people out there, there's no leader coming for you, man. Not anybody that's really gonna lead you anywhere good. The leader that's coming, you gonna deny him when he comes, okay? Which is our Lord Yahushua. When he shows up, you gonna fight against this guy.
You're denying his heralds.
Yep.
That's how we know you're against them. You have the spirit of anti-Messiah, man. You know, it ain't just one anti that they teach in the church. One anti. No, it's many of you out there, man. Those of you that oppose the real cause, which is the truth of these scriptures, you're an anti-Messiah. Even it said in the 2 John 1:9, he that transgressed it and abide not in the doctrine of Yahushua have not the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have Yahushua or the Most High. So that's why anything that you do is going to be a failure. That's why it says, going back to the curse, and you shall not prosper. But you shall what? Be oppressed. Everything that you do it gets exploited. It gets hijacked and taken to a whole nother direction. Why is that, man? Because going back to the verse above, because you've been smitten with madness and blindness, man, and astonishment of the heart. You know, you're so blinded and unconscious that you can't even see that every move that you keep making, which is the same move, you're not getting nowhere. So that shows you that our people are insane right now, man. When you're constantly doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, you know. Getting Black Lives Matter painted on the freaking in front of the White House, that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's not
That wasn't major progress. Because as far as I'm concerned, niggas are still getting hemmed up by the police. Niggas are still getting shot and told that go in the house, you got a curfew. Another Jake just been found out another Jake died after custody of the cop. And he said, I can't breathe.
Yeah, he was choked up.
So here he is, another one. Y'all did all that marching, okay, all that rioting, and the shit didn't do a damn thing, man.
See the one in Vegas where they had it looked like a young Jake too. They had
On
it
that,
on
On the bridge.
Yeah, like,
I think that was
months ago. That was like maybe a year ago.
but it's still happening. They're not going to change the tactic. If you keep sitting and reverting back to what they know,
and they know that they turned off their
body cam.
body cameras. And Apostle Ramla did a video where they're coming to their badges.
Yeah, they taped it.
They taped it with tape to say act like they're mourning the loss of their Edomite officers from that died of COVID, but they're since what is it? Not revealing. The opposite. Concealing their identities.
Yeah.
So when they come down, when they start busting you jakes in the mouth and choking you out, you can't say, oh, what's his badge number, or that's officer so and so. You don't know who it is. And a lot of these Edomites, the fire patrol, they got they covering their face. They got the mask on.
Hey, Dr. Martin Luther King, he got streets every fucking where, man. That's the most demonic street in every city.
Yeah,
Soon as you hit King, you know you're in trouble. Any city.
Somebody said, where y'all at on King? Y'all been teaching on Martin Luther King? Like, man, that's what I'm saying, man. Saying that we supposed to be in the hood, because we hood. You know, no, we teach for everybody. Our people are scattered everywhere. We gotta, because the people that may have common sense enough to listen, probably not going to be on that street.
Yeah,
Not enough of them. And the ones that do have common sense that's on that street can easily know how to go and get out of that. They'll be able to find it. But them other people, them other chicks, they smart enough to know not to go down to that street. Not looking like, looking like a different type of a nation. With our spirit, with the spirit of our people there. That was good? Nah, I was looking at what you were talking about. Medium sacrifice.
But that's First John.
Yeah, I got it. Want me to read that?
You could.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. 2 and 18. There's a couple of them. I'll read it. 1 John chapter 2, verse 18 says, little children, it is the last time. This is the end, man. The end of this society right here. All right? And this is one of the ways to know. It says, as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know it is the last time.
Yeah, and everybody's in that spirit of, really a lot of people are reverting to witchcraft. Like, you pay attention to a lot of these protests, you got a lot of witches, people performing voodoo and all type of witchcraft out there. And it tells us in Isaiah 19th chapter how the spirit of Egypt is going to fail, and everybody's going to seek to their idols and this, that, and the third. That's what you see happening out there. You don't see the spirit of the Lord out there at all. That's the spirit of anti-Messiah, man. What did Yahushua say? He said, he that gathereth not with me is he that is not with me is against me.
He that not gathereth
Scattered.
to me, scattered.
Yeah. So if you're not, if your plight isn't salvation and teaching repentance and teaching the gospel, then guess what? You're an anti-Messiah, man.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter, that's the spirit of anti-Messiah, man. The Lord he ain't with that, man. Okay? All any other organization out there.
I gotta read this.
Yep.
This is 1 John chapter 4 at the top, and I'm gonna read down till about 6 or 7. I'll read down and we'll go to it. It says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they be of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world." And these people act like they can foresee the good that'll be coming if they march, if they pick up on, well, just all kinds of different philosophies in this time.
They say, oh yeah, God got a plan for us. You know, we gotta keep doing this, and we gonna be good. That's not scripture.
With your God.
Wait,
That's not scripture. Man.
where that written at in God's word?
Done.
Verse 2, it says, "Hereby know ye the spirit of the Most High. Every spirit that confesses that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh is of the Most High." And that's why I have to say Yahushua Mashiach, not that other name. And it says, "And every spirit that confesses not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in this flesh is not of the Most High. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it shall come, and even now already is in the world."
Yep. It's in the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like going back to what I read in John, Yahushua said, if I come in the name of the Father, you will receive me. But if a man come in his own name, you'll receive him. You know, all Jake got to do is just see a nigga with shades, you know, toting a big
AR,
assault
AK,
rifles.
something like
Talking
that.
about he's
Camouflage.
experienced, you know, he's from the military. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna do this.
He's saying shalom and some of what the Muslims say.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum, whatever the fuck they say. You know, he talking at a hotel, like he can say all these words, and then Jake is like, oh man, he know his shit. Oh man, we need to get behind this brother, man. You know, he gonna lead us the way.
It's about time we had a leader.
That's the spirit of anti-Messiah, because that's not the right Messiah, man. But the Lord gave us one. He said there will be in the last days false prophets. Many shall rise up and say, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And that's what we're seeing right now, man. You know?
Blind leading the blind.
That's it.
It says,
That's the reason why you're going to remain in the blackness of darkness.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay?
Verse 4, it says, "Ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world." And that darkness spirit is of the world. It says, "They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them."
Yeah, if we was of the world, then we'd have the same following these
Hey,
other cats.
prime example is you go to these other people's pages on their YouTube channels and look at their subscribers versus our subscribers. That's a clear indication of that scripture right there. You can really look at the views, and they got millions of views, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. We barely break the 100,000. You know, we barely break the 1,000 mark to be able to go live. You know, I'm talking about in large number, right? It says, "We are of the Most High. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us. He that is not of the Most High heareth not us."
Yeah, that's why the Lord gave them over to that spirit.
Mm-hmm.
If you in those Black Lives Matter marches, the Lord gave you over to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's apparent that the Lord gave you over to the world. You belong with the world. If you of the elect, the Lord's going to call you from out of that spirit.
The Lord's gonna open your eyes to see, to show you the madness and of that protest, and you know, and show you that it really doesn't do anything, doesn't solve anything. You know, it shows you that, you know, putting your trust in these places and not putting your trust, you know, putting your trust in these places is really your downfall. And putting your trust in the scriptures and Yahweh Shai, That's your refuge.
They come.
Right.
The scripture say, "Woe to them that trust in the shadow of Egypt."
You know?
Yeah. To get out of trouble. That shadow was like when he talking about as the he didn't say shade, but the shadow of a rock in weary land. So when it's hot, you're gonna look for refuge
Get that comfort.
in that comfort in that shadow. But the real shadow is in this strong tower, man. It's in the bosom, under the umbrella, in the strong tower behind Bashim al-Shah. A little more. It says, hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Because we see, according to the scripture, what the spirit of truth is, and those that walk in that spirit, versus everybody else that are in the spirit of error.
And the scripture has everything, basically Jake mapped out to a T. Jake's spirit to how they're gonna react to this, how they're gonna react to this, and the scripture's got this down to a T. There's no new thing under the sun. Like we read in Acts, was it 5th chapter, where they said it rose up through this. What happened with them? The same thing is gonna happen with Black Lives Matter and other groups that protest and rally or whatever.
Militia groups.
Yeah, militia
Black
groups.
militias.
The scriptures got everything mapped out, so and it shows you the righteous path, and it shows you what happens to those that go from that path or veer off and want to follow their own vain, wicked ways.
All right, so we close out. Hey, with that, we're gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kamadash.
the ones unto the elder apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. The water for tuning in. We're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
When you click it,
They can't.
yeah, most of them came.